do.
You about ready?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep.
You know what you do.
Yep.
You got it. Oh man, let's do this. Lay ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today all year, coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right, BlackTogether. And I'm not by myself. Lady Lisa, say hey.
Hey y'all.
We back, y'all. Y'all made it. Another Tuesday. Another beautiful Tuesday. Quick announcements. Big shout out to Prince Onyx and Marquita Lestar who came through earlier. We got into some, artistic expression and appropriation and some, style thievery earlier today. Also, big shout out to 133 Art. If you check the community tab on my channel, they are giving away a PlayStation 5. So they have all the information for you to be able to get into part of the giveaway. So, of course, give them a shout out. Go on and hit that link and they'll send you so you can enter. I can't enter into it. I can't get no PS5 because I know them, so it ain't fair. But you can win a PS5. So, I mean, hey, do what you got to do. So tonight we have a cool show that I'm ready to get into. First up, I figure we could attack. Well, you know what? What do you want to talk about first?
Either one.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Issues.
Black excellence. Black excellence is something that we touched on. Well, not you and I. Anwar High Sign on Beast Vibes Life, and I actually talked a little bit on one show about Black excellence.
Okay.
And I wanted to kind of continue on that conversation here, especially framed around the context of relationships and stuff. What in our society as well, like what is Black excellence to us? What are we pushing as Black excellence? Is it something that's healthy, hurtful? You know what I'm saying? Is it something that's relevant at all, or is it something that just serves kind of a narrative that many of us unfortunately can't be a part of? So I'll start off with saying the line that we were on was, a lot of times normally we see Black excellence thrown out. We're like, oh, Black excellence. And you see like these couples that they'll say Black excellence. And a lot of the times what seems to be a common factor amongst these couples is that they're all financially successful and or famous. And when we say Black excellence outside of even couples, it's people that are doing something that is like kind of like upper class related. Like, they'll say Black excellence and they'll be on like a jet, like a private jet or something, or Black excellence and you'll see them with, some kind of like, some car, that whether it's a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, something. It usually has to do with something that's monetary or something that's like class, then class led. And putting that to context of just Blackness in general, and then also more specifically in relationships, it just makes me wonder why we never see those views of Black excellence coming from, the dad that's never missed a day of work to make sure that his kids, that his kids got, a nice place to stay in and all that. Or the mother who's killing it at her job and just got accepted for a new patent or something that she created or something that's gonna help, catapult whatever research or discovery. We never really see that. Usually it's based all around money. Every now and then we'll see something with academia, but mostly it's based around money. And kind of like, why, where do you think that's coming from? Or where's your view on it? Like, do you see it in that way? Or is it showing up for you in your timeline like that?
I definitely see it that way. But I honestly think it's a combination of, focus on finance and education. To to me, from what I've seen, Black excellence refers to your status in terms of your career, in terms of what kind of home you own, in addition to education.
Okay.
And a lot of times those two are linked. It's like, okay, you have this higher education, you went to one of the top HBCUs, or you went to Yale, or you went to Harvard, and it's like that's linked to, okay, you have money.
Okay.
So that's my experience, and I'm really not sure exactly where it came from. I mean, I'm guessing it came from where everything else that has to do with the Black community comes from, and that's comparing it to white folks.
Okay. Yeah. And then I guess in a way, you want to express and celebrate yourselves.
Right.
And of course, in American society, what we see as success, what we're told is success is money.
Right.
Or money related.
Right.
So we might be, of course, when you're dealing with a group of people that are systematically oppressed, stopped, attacked, held back at every level, to see someone be able to kind of slightly get beyond that, you're like, yo, yeah, they did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I get that. But then I also wonder if we're getting stuck into that's the only thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing that there is.
I do believe that's where we're stuck, because, Black excellence is also not just about, okay, so in Black excellence, when they refer to education, they're talking about college.
Yeah,
specifically,
like academia. So,
a higher education in terms of college. So it's Black excellence if you attend one of the top HBCUs, not just a HBCU, right? It's not considered Black excellence if you go to Virginia Union.
Yeah.
Right? It's considered
you gotta
Black
go to
excellence
Howard,
if you go to Howard. I would say even Hampton.
Howard, Hampton, maybe like I don't know, like Clark or something like that.
Yeah. Spelman.
Yeah.
But Black excellence needs to include when you have what will be considered a successful family, meaning, and some people will disagree, whatever, meaning you have a 2-parent home, right? You have a 2-parent home with two parents that are operating in a happy, healthy, centered manner, where you are raising your children who are well-rounded. You are part of the community. And that could come in different forms. It could be, I think a part of it could be, considered Black excellence when you have chosen to take your children out of the government-run education system and you decide to homeschool them. To me, that's Black excellence. That takes a lot of sacrifice. That takes a lot of planning. That takes a lot of that, to do that. Or if your kids are in school, Black excellence to me is having your Black children go through that system and still have a healthy and informed idea of who they are, what their history is. They aren't in a position where they have to necessarily recover from having gone to a public school system, which we know is the case right now. A lot of our kids are having to recover from what happens to them in the school system versus what their experiences. It's like, it's not like, okay, what did you experience or what did you talk about today? What happened to you today? You know what I mean? Is usually what Black kids are having to talk about when they come home. Not what happened in school today, what happened to you today.
Yeah.
That's something to really think about. So Black excellence needs to cover a lot more than finance and higher education.
Word. And shouts out to Cooley High in the chat. Shouts out to Shot by Nolan. And shout out if y'all up in there and you getting your lurk on. Good to have y'all here. Cooley High said, don't sleep on HBCU. Jackson State University here in Mississippi. Walter Payton and Deion Sanders is our coach. Yo, all right, I see y'all.
And see, my thing is,
and agree with everything.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping on any of it. I'm saying, like what is perceived and what I see is out there is that Black excellence, in general,
only applies to some HBCUs.
Yeah, what we're being given, like when some of these videos that you and I have seen, Michael, where some of these channels, they talk about Black excellence and just Black excellence in general in the media. When they talk about that, they talk about specific HBCUs, the higher epsilon, if you will.
Yeah, they're not really, Norfolk State isn't getting added in
exactly.
Union,
exactly. So
Virginia State, Virginia Union, them joints are not getting added in that.
They're
joint.
Not. You know what I mean? So I'm not deciphering because like HBCUs are great, period, across the board. But you have to, I think we all know it's chopped up into levels.
And speaking of that, with the channels, we came across this channel. Now, before I show you this channel and list this channel and all that stuff, before I do any of that, this is not an attack on the channel. This is not me saying this channel is, I don't know, doing something wrong or messing up the culture. I ain't saying nothing about that. I'm giving an example of kind of our focus when we talk about Black excellence. And this channel, I just put the link in the chat. The name of the channel is called Black Excellence Excellist. And so on the channel, when when you go to the channel, because we saw a video, something about places for Black people to retire to or something like that. So when you go on their channel and you just look at the videos, so many of their videos are like, top 10 richest Black communities, 25 top Black businesses, top Black cities to retire in, and then every now and then we'll get into like kind of like architects and pioneers of the game, but usually it has to do with money. Yeah. Usually it has to do with money, where it has to do like top 10 Black millionaires, top Black billionaires, like that kind of energy of like something surrounding money, something surrounding like the top 10 ways to make money, as a Black person or something like that. Like there's usually a lot of I guess a lot of focus around the money aspect. And I saw that I just thought it was interesting because there are a lot of times when we tie it to, and not saying that this is the only video that they make, but overwhelmingly their videos do tie to money. And then of course, when you look at like Instagram, when you look at like Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, we tie it to money. And kind of like, should we continue to tie this to money, or should, can Black excellence be the single mother who's doing it with three kids that's surviving and being able to, kind of like support them and also continue to kind of like climb the economic ladder where she's not there yet? Can that be her? Should it be her? Should it not? Why? Kind of thing. Can Black excellence be the Black man who's a mechanic who just treats everybody right? Would give you the shirt off of his back. Right.
And makes a good living for his family.
Yeah, it makes a good living for his family.
That's excellence. When you are able to get a job or a career, either one.
Yeah, because everybody doesn't have to be an entrepreneur.
Right. Everybody doesn't have to be an entrepreneur. Everyone doesn't have to have what you would necessarily consider a career. You can have a 9-to-5 and be successful and be excellent. You are, a family man or a single Black man. and you have a good job and you're making a good living for yourself, you're just an overall good person, you're a part of your community, whatever. It doesn't have to be everything is above and beyond, everything is, the top or towards the top 1%.
Or kind of performative, something like that. So,
yeah,
those are the things that we just, we were thinking about and wanted to kind of like continue that conversation here, with you guys, whether in the chat and also down in the comments on the replay, is like, how are we looking at it? Should we change how we look at it? Are there things that we are saying are excellent just because of the appearance of monetary success? And we don't really know how the inner workings of that, I guess, quote, excellence is being gained or maintained. When maybe someone who is, operating in their excellence right now could be right beside you, and you're not, retweeting them or reposting them. Perfect example. Two brothers that I just thought about right now. Is one is SP the Soul Prophet. And you guys, if you've watched my live streams, usually you have his music. I have his music at the beginning of my live streams when we're getting ready to come on. And he not only makes music and, of course gets, monetary compensation that way, but he also has his own business, neck brace coffee, and he makes coffee and he has, he sells that as well. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool. He's grinding. He's a business owner. He's, maintaining. He's keeping his family together. That's Black excellence. Or like your cousin who has Black folk food. Like when I saw that, yes, I was like, yo, he's putting his own thing together. He's doing it on his own. That's amazing. That's Black excellence. It's not the end of the journey. Isn't only Black excellence, I think, sometimes as well.
Yeah. Also
the beginning and the kind of the actual travel of the journey. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
the try.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of Black excellence that we might be overlooking because they're not at sort of the perceived end of their journey. Like for instance, let's look at someone who's like Drake. All right, let's look at Drake. Drake is probably at this time maybe like one of the most recognizable rappers, maybe top 3 or top 5 most recognizable rappers, meaning like fame, you know what I'm saying? And of course he has that song Started From the Bottom, Now We Here. Would we consider Drake Black excellence? And I know there's a lot of people that are gonna come in here and talk about blackness. We ain't playing that game. Would we consider Drake Black excellence only now? Or would we consider Drake also Black excellence when he was dropping his first project? You know what I'm saying? Kind of that thing. And why or why not? And should we change that kind of thinking? So yeah, that's, kind of just, well, where we're at on that one. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a lot of Black excellence that we're overlooking.
Yeah, and I'll say I think we do need to change that narrative. You know what I mean? And of course it just starts with you. The one person and having a conversation is just change that narrative. And, I think that's something that in general, I hate to say it, but in general, I think something we're bad with as Black folks is we are always very skeptical instead of supportive when Black folks talk about starting their own business, we always want to discount and, all this other kind of stuff. And it's like, no, see, the way I build my business,
the only way I can
by making money, right? And if I
have to actually make the money,
that's counterproductive. And if you really want to support me, you won't even ask. You'll just pay full price, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we have to kind of change that, because that is Black excellence. Is, like I said before, in the try. The try is Black excellence. You putting together a plan on how to open your business, doing the try and doing all that you can is Black excellence. And us supporting each other in that is also Black excellence. Whether it be a t-shirt company or your own seasoning or, whatever it is, I think we in general need to be more supportive of each other and less skeptical, of it. So
yeah. And speaking of that, there's a lot of times when we talk about support for and shouts to Cooley High. Cooley High says Drake needs to be an excellent father. Oh boy, I should. You know what? You got me to read it before even reading it, but read it. But yeah,
finish it. What's wrong?
Drake needs to be an excellent father. Being wealthy and not claiming your child is not excellent. Being an awesome father and taking care of your family is Black excellence. So
Absolutely.
yes, definitely. It's just that I didn't know where we was going. Once I started saying, I was like, here we go. I didn't know if you was going to hit me. I know if you was going to hit me with that.
Very true statement. And I think that goes along with what we're talking about. For Drake or anybody, out there who is making all this money, has all of this fame. If you got kids out there and you're not taking care of them, that is not. I don't care how much money you got. That is not Black excellence. Yeah. At all.
And speaking of the kind of like Black businesses, for instance, and this is rounding because this is the U.S. Census. Everybody don't answer to the census and all that. But in America, there's approximately 43,952,000 Black people. Approximately.
That's just approximate? Okay.
Well, because, some people don't answer.
Saying, you gave such a specific number. You're like, approximately.
So let's say there's approximately 44 or 43. Let's just go and back it down. 43 million. Well, you know what? We're going to round up. 44 million Black people, right? And with that, because there was an Instagram video that I wish I kept, but a friend of mine sent to me and said that, most businesses can be bootstrapped in the Black community alone. Like, and what he means by that is like, if Black people would buy from Black vendors, then most of those businesses would have the revenue to hire more Black people. And then we would be out of this corporate rat race working for people that don't always have your best interests at heart. And you could work at a place that you might feel more comfortable because they understand where you come from and how the world sees you and also how you see the world. Mm. And, of course, I don't expect all 44 million, or 43 million Black people to buy Black. But if you take 1% of that, that's 439,000 people. Imagine, straight up, 439,000 people buying a NERDSoul shirt completely changes the ability of what I can do. And matter of fact, let's take a fraction of a percent. Let's say, even if we back that down to 1% of that, which would be, 43,000 or something like that, like, you're still looking at like something that structurally changes the revenue that is injected into a business. So say the young sister that that has an Etsy, she lives down the street. Well, if 430,000 Black people bought from her, or even half of that, if 200,000 Black people bought from her, that changes her life immensely. Yeah. It's a revolutionary change, and it'll allow her to maybe hire other people. It'll allow her to, buy space. It'll allow her to be able to produce more stuff for us, and also hiring us, and also being able to put money in other Black people's pockets. So, simple things like that, where it's like, I don't think people. And it doesn't have to be a big thing where you have to buy something from, like, say their Etsy that's like $100. You can buy soap from this woman. And I'm pretty sure 400,000 soaps is a lot of money for that woman. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but even if we were to say, okay, 1%, you're still asking a lot. There's still a lot of people. Even 1% of that 1%, if 4,000 people buy a T-shirt from NERDSoul, that changes tons of stuff. Or like Black folk food. If 4,000 people bought seasoning, or he has provided awesome coffee scrubs on Etsy. You know what I'm saying? Get your face all scrubbed up. You know what I'm saying? Scrub a dub and get that dead skin away. Exfoliate. If 4,000 people bought from He Hath Provided on Etsy, you're talking about a structural change in her business practices to where you're like, yo, I'm not tied to this corporate structure. I can leave and be independent. You know what I'm saying? And there's tons of people, whether it's on Etsy or Spreadshirt or TeePublic or in someone who has a Patreon. I'm sure there's a black gamer on Twitch right now that if 4,000 people committed $1 to that person's Patreon, it changes everything for them. And that's 1% of 1% of the black people in America. And that goes to the idea of like, yo, we can bootstrap a lot of the businesses on our own if we change our idea of what black excellence is and how to support it. Yeah. So yeah, just some stuff that we're thinking about. And yeah, Cooley High says, we got to invest in each other. And it's, absolutely. Yeah, it's just, you think about that, but yeah, just something that's out there, something that was on our mind. And, we figured, cause I'm like, shoot, I get between $8 to $15 a shirt. So if 4,000 people bought a NERDSoul shirt, bruh, yo, you talk about building an empire right now. Y'all been saying y'all want NERDSoul sports. You about to get that. You know what I'm saying? But just things like that. Whether it's a brother that has a seasoning business for culinary things, or the sister that's selling shoes or selling coffee scrub, or any of that, like, you could fundamentally change the course of black people's, I guess, journey in America from our own community. Now, I know there's a whole host of other issues when it comes to the things that we have to fight against externally. But, let that dollar circulate. You know what I'm saying? You never know. And maybe start thinking about black excellence a little bit differently. But we had another topic and maybe topic and a half to get to. So I'll let you lead off on that. Go and do your thing. I know I have talked enough.
What was our other topic?
Thanksgiving. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, Thanksgiving.
I posed a question just thinking, right? I posed a question the other day and was like, you know what? Should we be celebrating Thanksgiving? Once we are at the point of having knowledge, which we all are at this point, having knowledge of what Thanksgiving really is, the history of Thanksgiving and what it is versus what America would have us believe it is. We know what it is, right? It was an okie doke, pretty much, that the Native Americans were given as they were coming in peace and love. They was like, we got you. And
all y'all lives about to change.
And thank y'all for all of this food and what y'all taught us to do. Appreciate it. Yeah. Bye. So we know that's what it is. So should we really even be still celebrating Thanksgiving? Now, you made a good point about, why it might be difficult for black folks to stop celebrating Thanksgiving.
Because, I looked at it from the stance of, it's been sort of since this, people have been pushing like, hey, this is not the real story of Thanksgiving. And Cooley High said Friendsgiving is the new term. Yeah, since the knowledge of like what really went on and how it really came to be, people have started to move from that narrative more to like, this is about the family. Mm-hmm. This is about the time for the family to get together, and almost kind of like, and I don't know how your family is. Some families do a family reunion every summer. This is kind of like family reunion part 2, depending on how close your family is. So it's become more about family as opposed to kind of this American narrative of like the colonials and Turkey, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think maybe it's a little different, but I definitely understand where you're coming from. And with that said, there also leaves the idea of like, we could still leave it and, do something else, because there's a lot of, we see every July 4th, we stand up and be like, look, we already had our independence on Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? So there's, or we had to wait for ours on Juneteenth kind of thing.
Right, because speaking of that, that's a good point. But
and it's not a one-to-one, but
right.
Yeah.
But the thing is this, for Black folks, we don't celebrate 4th of July per se, specifically.
Yeah.
It's just we know we're gonna have a cookout. We know we're
yeah,
gonna get
it's
together.
kind of like getting together.
We're gonna have a cookout, but the thing is, we for a lot of us, we have separated ourselves from the idea of 4th of July. We still gonna cook out.
Yeah, we still
but we've made it
still
clear,
gonna get some ribs on the grill.
We've made it clear that we're separating ourselves from that, and a lot of us are going more towards Juneteenth. So it's like even in that case for us, we were clear in saying, look, we don't recognize 4th of July, but then some people still do. They're like, hey, it's 4th of July, we having a cookout, it's 4th of July. So, but it's like, I don't know. I guess it is kind of difficult, but it's like now, with having understanding about 4th of July, and that don't include us. We that won't part of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How can you still be like, yay, 4th of July? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And I think
it's just something to think about.
Yeah, and I think similar to Thanksgiving, I think meaning society, the part of society that's not, that's not going to stay firm in the ground of like we got to talk about the colonists and how they were so great and how saying, for those of the society that want to move on and be like, look, this is the history and it's not awesome and it was super wrong and we're not going to celebrate that, can still say, hey, we have this time off of work and we have been getting together as a family. Let us keep getting together as a family, but let us kind of make this about another thing. And make it more about us than essentially the nation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the way when I was younger in elementary school, Thanksgiving was definitely, I won't really say sold to us as like a nationalist thing, but it was definitely sold to us as like, and the colonists got together and they got together with the Indians. Everybody was so happy because the colonists were just learning things and everybody was just eating together. It's like, nah, it's not exactly. So I don't know if maybe not, nationalist might not be the best word, but it was definitely sold to us as this kind of like guise of, under this guise of white supremacy of how like nice it was and how, beautiful it was for everyone involved and everybody was so happy and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to Cooley High said colonizers. But yeah. So yeah, I think we do need to maybe that, I mean, we kind of similar to Cooley High with Friendsgiving. Like we still celebrate like, we celebrate our family and our togetherness, but we're not buying into Thanksgiving, kind of that thing. But from this, I did want to jump in and say like, hey guys, we know this week is a holiday week. Please be safe as possible. I know I can't tell y'all what to do. I'm going to just request that y'all be as safe as y'all can. I know some of y'all
and I'm gonna be less polite.
Want to go see y'all family.
Yeah, I'm gonna be less
and some
polite.
of y'all might be seeing y'all family. Just
I'm
try to be as safe as possible, y'all.
I'm gonna be much less polite. No, don't try to be safe. Look, if you love your grandma, you won't see her. Okay? If you love your auntie, your uncle, and everybody else, you won't see them. If they do
we
not
can do a Zoom Thanksgiving or something.
If they don't live in a household with you, you shouldn't be all up in each other's faces for Thanksgiving. I know it's hard. I know it's different. It's But the thing is, we have to stop. It's not it's possible. That's
especially with the spikes we've been having in the last couple of weeks.
It is possible. Don't do it. Just
don't do it.
I mean, the blessing about this is we have the technology, to Skype and to Zoom and all these other things with people. You just have to be creative. And I mean, it's stuff we've been using anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you just have to be really creative about it. I understand it's probably harder for some people, especially people that are single. I recognize that. Yeah. I know it's extremely, difficult, but you have to think about the consequence. Or the possible consequence. Yeah, because
what was the girl we were just reading about? Did you send me the article where the girl, I can't remember. Oh, no. I was watching a streamer. Shouts to Miss Patricia. She was talking about, She was talking about how there was this mother who was angry at her daughter because the whole family had been quarantining, and the daughter went out to the club and then got everybody in the house sick, and they all had to go to the hospital. And I can't imagine the hospital bill of like 4 to possibly 5 people, because I know she had at least mom, dad, and a brother. I don't know if there were any more. But the hospital bills for 4 people staying in the hospital multiple days, bruh.
Yeah.
Yo, because let me tell you, I went to the emergency room a month ago, maybe a month ago, and that bill, whoo,
with insurance
that is not cheap. Whoo, I'm just letting y'all know, her mama has a reason to be mad at her. I'd have been like, look, you gonna pay this off.
And I hope you got somewhere to go after you get out the hospital, because you ain't coming to my house.
Oh yeah, you can't live here, because you need to go. You need to go somewhere else. Shouts to Cooley High said, yeah, I'm over the Thanksgiving. It's just gonna be me, my wife, daughter. I'm gonna be at the house eating and chilling because you may be asymptomatic. Yep.
It's true.
True that. You could be asymptomatic and don't even know. And you're like, it's not affecting you. It's not, breaking your body down. But, everybody else might not be as lucky as you. And as we've seen, over 250,000 people have not been that lucky. So, and who knows, it might be more because we haven't tested everyone. Yeah. And we haven't done contact tracing. So, yeah, this is a whole nother thing. But yeah, guys, the holiday week is upon us. Be safe. Yeah. And then just another thing that's, funny in general is like, if y'all are getting together, just try to mask up as much as possible. I know you ain't trying to wear no mask all day, but just try to as much as you can.
You're being too nice.
Because they already in the house with each other.
It's not a try to.
I'm just saying, if they already in the house with each other, they done already went there.
Right, but I'm saying, you're being too nice. It's not a try to if you can't. Do it.
Yeah, just don't.
Do it.
Or like if the house is big enough, one person could be in one room and just yell to the next room.
Look, for my mom, when my uncles come to visit her, they go in the garage. They sit on opposite, in they metal chairs. They sit on opposite ends with their mask on. Or she said if they do come in the house, she'll be in the family room. My uncle will be at the kitchen table with his mask on. She got her mask on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey.
You gotta figure out how to do it. Yeah. You gotta figure it out. But with that said, I think we've exercised the demons for the night this week.
It's a short one today,
nice short little. We know y'all getting into the holiday. You know what I'm saying? So it's like y'all getting ready, get your holiday on. Big shout out to PL and Anwar High Sign, which will be live tomorrow on a special episode of a new show we've been cooking up, they've been cooking up and I've been kind of pre-cooking as well. And also I'll be on Beats Vibes Life tomorrow solo, but I'll be there. So we got 2 cool shows coming to you tomorrow. Tons of hip hop. If you're willing to talk it, we will be there. So before we get out of here, Lady Lisa, say peace.
Bye, y'all.
And NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. YouTube is the hub. So of course, hit that. Let me see. Are we gonna have a show on Friday? Yes.
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 Yes. We'll have a show. Yes. Everything's staying on. Times might be a little bit different, but everything's staying on.
We ain't got no place to be.
I ain't going nowhere. I've been staying my butt in. Shouts to GJ Jazzy Jeff. Keep your butt in the house. So Thursday we got Star Trek Discovery. Friday we got Lounging. Saturday we got Star Wars Mandalorian. So everything is still going on.
What else we got on Friday, sir?
Friday. A Walk in Her Shoes. BlackTogether, A Walk in Her Shoes will also be out on Friday as well. So we got, this week, we got a full week. Yep. And once again, I'm going to just say to y'all getting all this. And I ain't even independent yet. I'm just saying, I got plans. I'm trying to put cool stuff together. You know what I'm saying? I know it ain't easy.
This
but
boy be working. I don't know if y'all know, but
look,
googly moogie.
I'm just saying, I know it ain't easy, but what I could really use is y'all support and a click of that like button, a click on that share, leave a comment after the stream. All that stuff helps, and the algorithm helps build me up. Because if y'all, you know what I'm saying, I'm not tripping over, like, you know what I'm saying, if you want to give to the Patreon or super chat, great, and I appreciate it. But if you ain't got a dime, you can click on that mouse, or I guess if you got a phone, you can just push it. Just push the phone, you know what I'm saying? Just tap the phone, and you can help me out that way. You know what I'm saying? Tell your mama, your daddy, your sister, your cousins, brothers, sisters, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Share it out. Help a brother grow in the algorithm. And you know what I'm saying? Then those numbers will lead me to independence. You know, after a while, it's like a long climb. But anyway, with that said, podcasts, if you would rather listen, I got tons of podcasts coming out. So if you can't see the show, you can listen to it instead. And Spotify for that music. Run them streams up. Don't sleep. And speaking about streams, I'm going to leave y'all with Arcatron. That's right. ARCKATRON.com. Much love to Arcatron. He is that dude. I believe he is traveling this week. So much safe traveling. Grace to you, my brother, because I would not even try to travel right now. So traveling grace to you. And from us, you were just saying, peace.
Bye.
Yo, man, this Arcatron joint, I like it. Look at that future sound right here. And switch it up now.